It's the way to go.
Join KAPP 35 for a live town hall meeting Monday, January 9th at 7 p.m. at Yakima Valley Community College.
I believe Martians do exist.
An effective strategy for interpreting data.
What would they be? Tall, short, green, purple, wide, small, thin. They can only look, not touch. Earth is the third planet of the sun, and of course, that is the one we live on. I don't believe they could space travel, but maybe they could, maybe they couldn't, I don't know. They may be civilized, they may be simply plant life.
You've just thought and talked, is you've done a lot of musing in a variety of different directions as you've thought about things. So did Bill Clinton. Mm-hmm. And he's learned that as president, doing that kind of musing is not very useful to him. That people take his words and analyze them, and I
don't think that's his problem at all. Well, look, the American people are very commonsensical. I mean, I really believe in the American people. This is a great country with good people. And when Ronald Reagan said one afternoon he'd like to abolish the corporate tax, and everybody in the White House staff went crazy, and it was the evening news, and he came back and said, well, he knows he can't, but he'd like to. The country said, fine. I mean, they knew who Ronald Reagan is. If the president, and I'm not trying to offer him any unsolicited advice, so I'm not going to say it directly about the president, but effective leadership is to muse and stumble around in the right direction and keep doing it. People will tolerate a lot of falling on your face if you're falling in a direction they want to go in.
I was talking yesterday to one of your chieftains.
It is a rather large tribal gathering.
who said, you know, this winning is great. I mean, I'd love to stay here all night because we're winning every vote. But I see, he said, a real danger in that, because exuberance can get you to a place where you are not careful, and you start to feel that you're invincible. Do you see a danger there?
Oh, sure, absolutely. And you also have a danger that you just end up running so hard that you miss something, or you're not able to listen carefully enough because you're doing too much. And I think you've got to constantly have a rhythm of backing off, thinking about it, listening to people. One of the points I made this afternoon in the leadership meeting was, if I do something that isn't working right, tell me. I mean, because it's very important. I really preach listen, learn, help, and lead. Because I think you have to lead a team. And to lead a team, you have to listen to the team. And every human being makes mistakes. And every human being gets hubris. And every human being can't see themselves. And so I think you've got to really be willing to slow down, try to not make a mistake. But the more important thing, and I'll tell you the great example I had, my younger daughter was once an intern at Coca-Cola. And she called me, and she was editing their daily bulletin of all the news coverage. She happened to be there the summer they did New Coke. So she had big bulletins. She called me laughing one Monday night, and she said, if they try to tell you this was all a plot, laugh at them, because I was here when Gottesweda came back in and said, well, we blew it. We're reissuing Coca-Cola. And I've since talked to a lot of the Coke executives, because in Atlanta, you know all those guys. And the moral courage of Gottesweda as the head guy in a nationally seen mistake, walking in and saying, okay, we blew it. We didn't do what our customers who love our product wanted us to do. And on a dime, they turned. And we tried to do this in the book thing. It was clear that whatever was legal and ethical for a backbench Republican was inappropriate for the Speaker of the House. And it took us 2 or 3 days to unlock and say, oh, here's $4.5 million, and we're poor people, and we'd sure like to help a couple of our relatives go to college, and there sure are other good things we could do. And the fact is, we're not going to do that. And that was hard. But you're going to make mistakes like that, because you're going to be in a situation you've never dreamed of, and by definition, the big surprise is the thing you didn't think of, because if you thought of it, it wouldn't be a big surprise. And the key to leadership at that level, and this is why I love FDR, and I urge everybody to study FDR, is when FDR made a boo-boo, I mean, he was the best politician I think we've ever had at being able to say, well, that sure didn't work, and just back off from it. And if you can do that, I think the American public will give you an enormous amount of opportunity to try to lead them in a direction they want to go.
One last thing. You've talked about this, you know, you're going so much it's hard to slow down and listen. You've been going nonstop now for the last couple of days. Is it still just as exciting and all of that? Or are you wearing down a little bit?
Well, I'm tired physically. No, I mean, it's unbelievably exciting. I'm tired. We have some stuff to do tomorrow. I fly home tomorrow night, and Saturday morning I teach the first of the 10 classes of Renewing American Civilization, and then we do, I think, 2 town hall meetings and a Chamber of Commerce dinner on Saturday. But we're going to take all day Sunday off and just crash. I'm going to go out after this interview and have dinner with my wife, alone for the first time in about 5 days, and talk. And I hope gradually over the next week or two to begin to level off and slow down. But on the other hand, if you say to somebody, here is the 72 hours in which you became Speaker of the House, set a tone, passed 9 reforms, etc., it ain't bad being tired.
And it gives you some energy all of its own.
I'm going to watch the Super Bowl in a few weeks, and I expect at the end of the game the winning guys will be tired, but it'll be okay. Well, that's about how I feel. Yeah, we're tired, but it's okay.
I'll be back in just a moment.
What they do is simple. So simple it would be easy to miss it altogether. But they're making a difference. You see, drunk driving fatalities are down 32% in the last 10 years. And fatalities from teen drunk driving are down 60%. So to everyone who checks an ID, offers to call a cab, or helps a customer know when to say when, we extend our thanks. By doing what's right, you are making things better. A message from Budweiser.
Tak se snažím sehnat ten nový operační systém Chicago. Pořád odaluji jeho uvedení na trh.
Ten nový OS2 VAR pod IBM se zdá být vynikající.
OS2 VAR?
Zrovna jsem o něm četla v časopise. Máte tam opravdový multitasking? Snadný přístup do internetu.
Hrozně ráda bych tu síť vyzkoušel. To je můj beeper.
It looks like I'm all alone out here, but I have company.
Try that sequence again.
Because every time I brake, swerve, or hit a bump, my teammates at Ford are watching and giving me feedback.
Preston, retard brakes, 10%.
We've created this system of testing, so even if a driver hasn't experienced conditions as extreme as these, it's a secure feeling knowing the car has.
Let's try that whole sequence again.
That's easy for you to say.
Ford, quality is job one.
To folks in Glastonbury, Connecticut, Cat's Ace Hardware is the place to get just what you need. And at your local Ace, you'll find 95 ways to save. Great values to start your year off right. That's Ace, the place for the helpful hardware folks.
She thought her mother was dead, and now she's going to meet her after 42 years.
My fondest memory is running through the mustard fields and seeing her with her arms out.
It's reunion day. I don't care if he's in a bowling shirt with spaghetti stains down the front. I love surprises. This will be great.
Oh, my God. I don't believe this.
You're a doctor now.
Yes, ma'am.
A doctor?
Next over.
Watch KAPP 35 Friday afternoon at 4.
That's our report for tonight. I'm Cokie Roberts on Capitol Hill. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
For video cassette inquiries, call 1-800-ABC-7500.
Nightline is a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. Imagine suddenly forgetting who you are.
Do you know me?
Your pockets are filled with cash. Your clothes are covered in blood.
That's Jane. That's my wife.
Now, who can you trust with your life?
Oh, my God.
Joanna Kern, See Jane Run, Sunday on ABC.